This movie is called The Black Phone. Spoilers ahead for The Black Phone 2022. Now, Ethan Hawke is the star of the show here. He's the main villain called The Grabber. We texted about this a little bit, and we both got Diddler vibes, but I'm glad they didn't go there.
Yeah, I mean, there were super strong Diddler vibes. I believe the real linchpin of the Diddler vibes is he said, "I would never do anything to you that you didn't want me to do.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't enjoy."
After being abducted by a child killer and locked in a soundproof basement, a 13-year-old boy starts receiving calls on a disconnected phone from the killer's previous victims. I saw this movie twice at the theater.
So we open in the world of Stranger Things, i.e. the 80s. We are in the most classic the 80s ever. There's bullies and a wimp. There's a guy that's not a wimp who bullies the bullies.
Who excessively beats the shit out of the bully. Like, he had him beaten and just continuously pounds this kid. Like,
yeah, my note says stranger bullies.
Yeah.
And you kind of learn like this kid is a wimp that has a bunch of people to protect him. His sister is actually pretty good in a fight, and he cries while his sister is fighting.
Yeah, she's fearless. He's getting jumped by 3 kids. We'll get to that later, but
they're all bigger than him.
Yeah, but 3 very ugly kids. No wonder they're so upset. So the kid that beats up the bully is friends with our main character, Finney. And the bullies are trying to, like, jump him in the bathroom because, you know, when you have a ginger, a small kid, and the kid with woman hair, you gotta gang up on the wimpy kid, right? The kid called Robin, he's the one that beat up the bullies. Or the first bully, he's kind of threatening the 3. And they're such big, tough guys that they're like, we don't want to get punched in the face at all. So we're going to walk away. 3 on 2.
The way he acts when his sister is fighting, that would have been a 3-on-1 fight. I mean, I get like not wanting to get into a fight that you know you're going to lose. But once you're in the fight, like, let's go for kneecaps and nuggets. When they're ready to cover the nuggets, then you go for the eyes. Everyone thinks that the nuts are the most vulnerable place. No, that's the place you think they're most vulnerable while they can still see.
Yeah.
And then you teach them that no, that was the second most vulnerable place.
If only he had a dirt-filled 70s phone. So the first kid we meet, so we talked about Robin because he eventually is abducted in this movie. The first kid he meets, they have a classic baseball scene in the beginning with Finney, our main character, throws a mean fucking cutter, and he's like 12. How old would you say he was? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, 12.
There's this weird moment where it's the end of the game. It's Finney against Bruce, which is one of the first kids who gets abducted. And this all plays later into the movie. There's this moment where Finney's on the mound throwing the ball, baseball words. But I bring it up because there's like a girl on the in the sidelines who's like smiling at him and stuff when he makes Bruce swing and miss twice. And then when Bruce hits a home run off of him, she totally blows him off. It's like, is this a 12-year-old groupie situation? What is happening? It was super weird.
I did not catch that at all.
She's giving him the flattery eyes, and then he gives up the home run and she just walks away. She wouldn't even look at him. She's like, I was gonna smooch you in the bathroom, but now, yeah, it was really creepy. I don't know. I don't do well with kids' stories. It's like, just skeeves me out. I don't know.
We also introduced his sister, who apparently can dream, see the future or the present, but in very inconsistent ways.
Yes.
She, I think she wrote a school report or something about the ongoing Grabber case, and she dreamed about 99 black balloons being used to grab a kid. I mean, don't ask me how this guy manages to drive around a small 80s town with like half the school population being kidnapped. And like no one's like, hey, should we check the black panel van with the balloons in the back window. No, we shouldn't do that.
Yeah, and how rare are black balloons? And he doesn't have like an Amazon order where he can just get black balloons shipped to him. I don't know. Is he spray painting the balloons? Like, what's happening here? It's like, why does this guy keep asking for black balloons at the hardware store? I don't get it. Couldn't be
I'm pretty sure
related at all.
This town definitely has a party store where which is the only place you can get like tinsel and like those folded paper things you hang up.
Yep.
That spell out happy birthday or whatever.
Why is this 50-year-old dude with the white face paint always coming in here for balloons?
The sister has the best insult I've ever heard in a movie. She called someone a dumb fucking fart knocker.
Yep. One of the kids is abducted. The sister has a dream about the kid being abducted by a man with black balloons. And the sister tells the mom, who tells the police. So the police come and talk to Gwen. And she's like, what? You think I'm the grabber? And then she uses Jeremy's line, dumb fucking fart knocker. That had everyone in the theater laughing both times I saw the movie.
When I was a kid, it was after this period, because I'm not old. You could ride around by yourself, but like if kids were going missing, there's no way anyone's biking to school alone. Once like 4 kids go missing, now we start to like take some precautions.
Yeah, it's like the whole 5th grade is gone.
Yeah.
And everyone's still walking home by themselves. He's like, oh yeah, little sister, let's split up.
Let's split up and search for clues.
Yeah. So after the interview with the police, the dad decides to vividly beat the shit out of this girl with a belt. Good old child abuse, huh? Because the dad's an alcoholic. We see in the beginning anytime they, I don't know, breathe too hard, he has a migraine. So, you know.
That dude's a lightweight though. Like the first time you see him, there's 2.5 beers drunk and he's passed out.
Yep. Hey, they weren't light beers.
They didn't even have IPAs back then.
No.
This dude's getting knocked out by 80s Budweiser.
Yeah.
I don't think he's an alcoholic. I think he's on the pills.
Yeah.
This dude's going down with 2 beers and a tranquilizer.
That child abuse scene was super uncomfortable, which was the point, but
yeah, but they also they made him very I don't want to say relatable, but you feel empathy for him because like you find out the reason why he's an alcoholic and the reason why he doesn't want her dreaming is that their mother, killed herself after dreaming when the dream started telling her to do things. So I'm pretty sure this guy watched his wife, came back and found his wife hanging from the ceiling fan or something like that. Yeah,
that's why he drinks, and that's why he was trying to beat the dreams out of her.
It's like they said in that school special, hurt people hurt people.
Yep.
Also, Ethan Hawke needs to die. Holy shit.
So the baseball kid in the beginning gets kidnapped. The fighter, the Robin, the kid that beats up the bully and is protecting Finney, gets kidnapped. For some reason, he's like walking in an industrial park area when he's grabbed. It's very odd. I don't know. Maybe he was behind the balloon shop. I don't really know.
Yeah, I feel like because everyone knows that there's a grabber going on.
Yeah.
Not many people know about the balloons thing, but like if I know there's a grabber and this guy's in a parking lot with like a bunch of black balloons staring at me, I feel like I'm not walking towards him anymore.
He's probably got a bit of an ego on him after beating up the other kid.
I have this headband. You can't possibly beat me up.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm not the Karate Kid. I'm just a kid.
Yeah. So after Robin's kidnapped, the 3 bullies start beating on Finney, of course.
I just had a weird mental image. Like, how intense the whole Karate Kid fight series is? How do you think like an untrained adult would do in there? Just grab one of those 14-year-olds by the ankle and throw them?
Yeah.
Hi-ya, get the fuck out of here, kid.
Yeah. Ground and pound, I'd guess. And I'm not talking about the grabber. Oh, too soon.
We're in the middle of the movie here.
Yeah. My note about him after Finney's kidnapped, because obviously that's where we're going, but Finney's kidnapped because they split up. The sister stays over at a friend's house every Friday, so Finney walks home by himself. My first note is this: he better not be a diddler. Good Lord.
I didn't sign up for that kind of movie.
But the three kids after Robin is kidnapped, we're jumping around a little bit, but they end up jumping Finney, and that's where the girl had like the best insults because she calls him something cocksucking cowards or something when she comes in, and she hits the one dude with a stone and he's bleeding on the side. She was great in this movie. What did you think about the different masks that the grabber was wearing?
Yeah, I didn't know if they had any meaning or not, or they were just made to look scary. Like, it
Mhm.
looked like they were made of stone or something, but
And it was like a two-part style mask because sometimes he would just have the mouthpiece, and the one time at the end when he's gonna after he kills his brother, we'll get to that. He has just the eye part with the devil horns, but it seemed like it was like based on his mood because he's very solemn in the beginning and he has the thing covering his mouth, like there's no opening. And then when he wants the kid to like he leaves the door open for Finney to try and escape because he's gonna play naughty boy, which again I thought was gonna be a diddling situation. He's got like it's got like a frowny face, and then the third one is just like the evil one you see in the trailers. Yeah, he did a good job being a fucking creep. I'll give him that.
yeah, his voice acting is really intense. Like, he comes off as very scary,
Hmm.
and he adds a lot of intensity to the situation. Even though he's not in it most of the time, it's mostly just the kid in the room talking to the phone.
Hmm.
But you always have the memory of the last time he came in and growled or cried or whatever.
So Finney's kidnapped. Same situation with the black balloons. He sprays like some sort of aerosol can into his mouth. It's like a spray paint can, but no paint in there to knock him out. I don't know what that was supposed to be.
I think it might have been just nitrous oxide, which like we inhale from a can, it's like a whippet. I think those can cause problems. I don't know. Maybe the place that sells black balloons also sells cans of chloroform.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Spray paint
But yeah,
cans with chloroform. Yeah.
in the town where his best friend has just gone missing, he decides to go and talk to this random guy
Yep.
who just fumbles his groceries right in front of him and giggles and laughs like a maniac. Like, oh, look at this! Oh,
Yeah, he drops the bags on the floor, asks for help picking them up, stops picking them up, and asks Finney if he wants to see a magic show. It's like all of these red flags, and he's like, "Yeah, sure,
yeah,
let's do
okay.
magic." Yeah,
I'm
it's a
gonna make your
mess.
virginity disappear.
Yeah. Aw. So he locks him in the basement. Finney sees the black phone, which the whole movie's based on. The grabber says it doesn't work, even when I was a kid, or since I was a kid, meaning he was locked down there. Again, the same situation we talked about earlier with the dad, where hurt people, right? So he was probably locked down there as a child. I don't know why the brother was mostly normal, except for the cocaine, but we'll
I
get
mean, the
past
brother was
that.
obviously dropped on his head.
Oh yeah,
He
he
was in
didn't.
the room too. He didn't realize it.
Yeah.
He's over there just not figuring out how to win at tic tac toe alone.
Finney and the grabber can hear the phone, but the grabber is pretending that the phone isn't ringing because he thinks it's in his head. That's one thing that the first kid, Bruce, who calls, does say. There is one question I had. So Bruce is the first one to call on the phone. So it's all the past victims are calling Finney to help him try and escape.
Mhm.
But the reason that they haven't done this before is because they have been calling the previous captives,
Mhm.
but they couldn't hear the phone. So what for whatever reason, maybe it has something to do with the mother as well.
Yeah.
Finney can hear it. Bruce says there's loose tiles over on the side. It's a pretty big room down there, and
Yeah. That would have been like 2.5 apartments.
yeah. So in the hallway on the side, there's loose tile, and Bruce tried to dig his way out. So Finney spends most of the day digging, but he doesn't ever finish. He just moves on to something else. He never tries to finish getting out via the tunnel.
Yeah, but like also the tile wouldn't have been the hard part, would it? Like, I mean, he needed to start digging like near a wall.
Yeah.
An external wall, to be specific.
Yeah, because it just kind of looked like linoleum rather than like actual tile,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess was very popular back then. But I just was curious my second time watching it why he stopped trying to tunnel out, because that was the whole point. Bruce said he didn't have enough time to tunnel out.
There was never going to be a chance for him to tunnel that far. Like, it's basically on the inner wall of a big room.
Mm-hmm. It was facing he would have had to tunnel towards where the stairs were.
And he would have had to tunnel up to the top of the room because the room is one of those basements with the window at the very top. So he would have to go in one direction for like at least 30 feet probably, and then up another 12 feet.
So that begs the question, did the kids know what the plan was going to be from the start? Are they like, all right, we need him to dig a hole because, because they saw that the dog was there. So the second kid wanted him to gain access to the freezer, even though he knew he wasn't going to get out. You know what I mean? Like, was it a setup the whole time?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they should have just started with the freezer and gone from there. Like the freezer, it seems like the way out to me. I mean, I get that like they said it's too heavy to move. That thing was mostly empty. I feel like if you got something out of the toilet for leverage, you can move that thing and slip out behind it. I mean, it can't be that heavy. The fridge didn't even have a back.
That's true.
That was a wall-leaning fridge.
Yeah. I think he did take off a metal panel, right? He unscrewed it.
But it's just like a piece of sheet metal.
Yeah, that was it for the whole fridge. They don't build them like they used to.
That's good. That seems very wasteful for energy.
Yeah.
I don't want my fridge to be like that.
So
yeah, but like I spent a lot of the movie wondering why he didn't just, wait next to the door with something sharp to just, go right for the I don't know, what would be a good place to stab him? Like his
eyes.
Because when he gets kidnapped, Finn fucks his arm up. So like if he did that to his neck, that guy is dead.
So the grabber wants to play naughty boy, which I cringe even saying those words, where he leaves the door open and he's just waiting at the top of the stairs shirtless. He wants to see if the kid will try and escape, in which case he's just going to beat the kid unconscious, which he's done to all the others. So the second call protects him from that.
I mean, he still goes up the stairs. I don't know why he doesn't get caught, because he goes up and looks at them. Like, if you can see them, they can see you, because eyes are inside the head. Yeah,
it's very weird because the kid's like, don't go up the stairs. He immediately goes up the stairs.
He gets another call. I think we're at the your arm is a mint point then. What does that mean, your arm is a mint?
Your arm is mint. Like mint
your arm
condition.
is mint.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I don't understand what that means. Is it because he almost struck the kid out?
Yes, because the kid he was only wearing one batting glove, so he clearly knew, like he was clearly a good hitter. That doesn't mean anything. It just the voices who call can't remember their own names. They can only remember certain things. They keep saying the same lines that they said to each other. Your arm is mint. You almost had me. He says that like 5 times. Bruce calls him. Robin is the final one to call him. And then there are 2 kids in the middle, right? There's the paper boy and there's the bully kid who apparently, I don't know, he's like a 25-year-old, 14-year-old or something.
Who gets in the knife fights in a gas station.
Yeah. Over pinball.
Yeah. It's such a funny scene where like the kid bumps into the pinball machine and starts punching the other guy's like, hey, and then he does like this 80s musical gangster pose and like pulls out a knife like did the first jump scare get you where where he's on the phone and like the camera pans and you just see like the bloodied kid standing there talking?
Oh yeah.
Looking at him. That made me jump. If I had a drink in my hand, it would have been spilled. I was like, yo!
There was literal shrieks in the theater.
And it's such a good like jump scare. They didn't do like the corny one where it's like da 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 da. Brrr.
Yes.
Like I'm pretty sure there's no background music in that scene.
Correct.
It just panned to him and you're not ready for it because there's no audible wing to like tell you that something should be there.
And that's the most annoying thing about horror movies is when they do, like, the music is telling you how to feel rather than your eyes and your the situation.
Yeah, like so many movies put like scary music in parts that aren't scary yet. Walking down the street with my headphones on. Do, 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 do. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Why is Darth Vader here?
Like, if you're gonna start the Dune music, you got to start it like you can't start it 7 minutes ahead of time. I'm pretty sure the Michael Myers movies are really bad about that. Like, some chick's
100%.
just shaving her legs, and it's like,
Dun 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 dun. It's always with them.
the only time it doesn't bother me is the Jason movies. I always enjoy the cha cha cha.
Yeah, there's a common theme in this movie, and I don't know if the camera. I know he's the main character, but the camera is always focused on Finn. You rarely see, unless the grabber is there, you rarely see the camera facing the other way, like with the door in the background. So there's always this constant tension of, is he gonna just be standing there while he's doing all this stuff? Because the camera's perfectly angled. Because I had this constant state of unease because of the way the camera was angled, and
Yes,
it's like perfectly set.
yeah. That is This movie has the most like suspense I've ever felt in a movie.
Yes.
And second place is really distant. Probably The Ring, maybe, but like The Ring is really different. It's a different kind of suspense. Does one come to mind for you?
No, not really. It's just uneasy all the time.
I felt like I didn't know what was going to happen. Like, if I had stopped to think about it, like, obviously, I mean, Finn is probably going to be fine, but like, it's a bunch of dead kids in this movie. Finn might not be fine.
Yeah. And there's also a point, they did this really interesting thing now that I'm thinking about it. In the trailers, there's a point where the grabber, you turn, like it pans straight to him in the trailer, and he's like, I told you to hang up the phone, or something like that. That never happens in the movie. So that was also in the back of my mind, like, is he just gonna be standing there? Like,
Yeah, now that I think about it, the trailer contains what, like anti-spoilers, I guess?
mm-hmm.
One thing that always annoys me is like in trailers, if I've seen the trailer and it's memorable at all, I'm sitting there like mentally waiting for the scene because I know it's coming.
Yes.
And so you're kind of scared of that scene happening.
Yep.
And it never comes.
Yeah. Slick bastards.
Yeah, so the kids are like, they're not like an enemy, but they're still scary because they show up like so bloodied or angry or creepy. So like the phone is scary, Ethan Hawke is scary, the kids are scary, and Finn's a little annoying. Like, okay, he didn't really try to get up there. I still believe he could have opened that window up if he wasn't such a pansy. Like, stack the carpet up, let's go, kid.
Yeah, and he uses a carpet to like feed this cable through. Why didn't he feed the cable through like while the carpet was sideways? It seemed like a very weird way to do that.
Yeah, I don't think cables work like that. I don't
No.
think actually there's absolutely no gravity in this world. But like he had so much stuff there, I feel like he could have, I mean, obviously it wouldn't be the same kind of movie, but like I feel like he could have like set the carpet and the bed up, and Ethan Hawke's not getting in that fucking room. Like, hey, let me in. No. Let me in. No.
Let me out.
And then like while Ethan's at the door, like, I'm going out that window.
And it turns out, there's one point where the paper boy relays to Finn that his bike lock is being used to lock the door outside, like to the outside. Funny, like, is very good acting job by Finn, because the realization that he could actually get out is plastered all over his face. But the kid can't remember, there are 5 numbers. He can't remember like which numbers unlock the lock. So
well, he has the digits, but like it's bike locks it's one of those round bike locks. So it's like 1 through 9, and then 10 through 30 something are the combination options, I think. So is it like 130? Is it like 132 or 1321 sort of stuff?
Yeah, it was 23317 were the numbers, so it could be 23317, 23317, or 23317. So he had to try them all while the grabber was passed out, again shirtless in the kitchen. There's got to
be easy neck stabbing range. Like he's in the kitchen.
True.
Open up a drawer, get a knife, and then chop his head off. Or another idea, like he's at a storm door. Just go through the glass.
Oh, 100%. That's what I'd be doing. But I guess, I mean, the opening of the lock woke him up, and
Mhm.
he's able to, because Finn decides to run in a straight line down the street. He's still able to catch him really quickly.
Yeah, they did like I really like the scene where he's like where they're hidden like in a shadow of the yard, and he's like, if you make another noise, I'm gonna gut you like a fish. Like, oh shit. Like I believed him. I believed he was gonna be gut if he said
Yep.
me something.
And then I'll strangle you with your intestines.
He wouldn't have
God.
time to do that too. I don't know. That town is full of idiots who just let kids wander around. Maybe it would have been is he skinning a deer in my yard? Hey, stop that.
Yeah. Why is that deer wearing children's clothing? I don't get it. I guess that's what happens when you don't give a shit about your kids.
Well, when you have a bunch of kids, they're all known as the oldest one and the spares.
So his brother, the grabber's brother, is staying with him, and he's got this whole like yarn corkboard set up, trying to figure out who the grabber is. But he lives in the same house with him, and the kids are in the basement. Apparently, also this is based on a short story, which I was going to try and find. And my buddy said that the psychic dream girl was not part of the short story, so they added that in.
It was kind of pointless because Finn gets caught, or the guy gets caught without her doing, like, they're on the wrong side of the road, and then Finn walks out.
So the grabber bought a house across the street. What does he do for a living? Like, he doesn't ask for any ransom for these kids. How does he have this money? He bought a house across the streets to.
Okay, you got to
bury the
realize
bodies.
houses were cheaper back then.
True.
Like you could buy a house with a part-time job at the grocery store.
I did like that part though, that the girl, Gwen, her psychic powers allowed them to find the kids' bodies where he was burying them, rather than her helping him to escape, because Finn was still the main character, but she also was like, she was a 1A and helped in this area so that Finn could still be the hero for his own story. I did like that part.
I did like it was funny. They're all here. We're looking at that kid, and he just kind of walks out like, hey, what are you looking for?
Yeah.
And then there's a scene where like Finn, sets a trap for Ethan Hawke and just beats the shit out of him with the phone, and then strangles him in a very satisfying scene.
Yes.
And like all the kids are there, and he can see them, something like that. And my note is the Goonies are looking rough.
Yeah. And the phone rings for him, and they all start talking to him. Oh, the kids are all standing there to get Gwen to stop. They're all standing there in the street.
That's right. Yeah. In the road.
The grabber comes down, kills the brother, because the brother figured out, oh shit, there's a child in my basement, and he's hopped up on coke, because coke, obviously comes into play when you're solving a mystery, because he does a hit and then he's like, oh. And the one death that we actually see on screen before the grabber is the grabber's brother, and he just takes a fucking axe to the back of the head. At least it was quick, I guess. And when he sets the trap, he pulls a rug over the hole he dug earlier,
and he puts the grate down there at an angle.
Yes, and the grabber falls into the hole and snaps his fucking ankle on that grate. And oh god, that was so cringe. I've done that to myself many times when I was, chasing kids in my basement. No, but playing sports, I jacked my ankle so many times. So I had like a real like, oh no, even though he was a piece of shit, but just seeing the ankle, and they really zoom in on it too. It's like,
look, if you're gonna kidnap kids and you don't have them chained to a radiator, what are you even doing, you amateur?
That's true. After he kills the grabber, he goes up. Well, he gets a stake to distract the hellhound that the grabber brought downstairs with him. This fucking demon dog. It looked like something straight from a fucking anime. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was a serious dog right there. That is that dog is not allowed in most property owners associations.
Yeah, that dog's so hard, he did not care that the steak was frozen that he threw to him. He still chewed through it. But all I could think of was Randy from Scream, where Randy is talking about in Scream 1 that the killer always comes back for one last haunt.
Careful. This is the moment when the supposedly dead killer comes back to life for one last scare.
Finn is up at the door after killing the grabber. I was so sure that he was coming back to snatch him. I was so sure. I'm glad he didn't, but I'm just sitting there waiting, I'm back up in my seat, like, no. But
I was convinced he was dead there, so that would have I would have been like, oh, bullshit. Oh, no, he was Michael Myers the whole time.
Right. Yeah. Oh, my God. But yeah.
Shot in the head 7 times, head decapitated, just puts it back on and beats everyone up.
And conveniently, for everyone's sake, the house with the bodies was across the street, so all the cops are there, and Finn escapes, and we get the last shot of him talking to the cute girl at school. It's like, call me Finn, baby. Everyone kind of respects him now that he actually murdered an adult human.
Yeah, I feel like he's not gonna. If someone tries to bully him, it's gonna go way different now.
Yeah, because he has a cable that he can strangle him to death with. So as of today's July 3rd. As of July 2nd, that's the latest numbers we have. The Black Phone has made $39 million domestically, $12 million international, for $52 million worldwide, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it sounds low because we're used to comparing it to Marvel movies. It's like, oh man, they only made $2 billion, so they're down $1 billion.
Yeah. The production cost is $17 million, so they've pretty much tripled it since. So I'll take it. More movies like this, please. This was a lot of fun. Well, I don't know if fun's the right word, but this was an interesting watch, and I really do enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I was tired after watching that one. I was on the edge the whole time.
Yeah.
I need a nap.
So IMDb, 7.3 out of 10, 18,000 plus ratings. Where do you sit?
I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Perfect. That's where I am as well. Everything that it tried to do, it did beautifully and grotesquely. And that's what you want out of a horror movie. It was interesting, and it was creepy and tense.
Yeah, my only gripe, the thing that keeps it from being a 10 out of 10, because everything, the acting was really good, the cinematography was perfect,
Mm-hmm.
The soundtrack was intense and really well done. Ethan Hawke killed it.
Yep.
My only thing is I didn't like the cops and the little girl as much because they felt tacked on, and they kind of had no purpose at the end. You could have cut that out and the story would have been the same. And also there was a big lot of 10-year-old me could have gotten out of that. Although 10-year-old me was not walking up to a kid in a black van when there's a kidnapping going on.
Yeah.
Oh look, there's a hobo with makeup on. Let's go talk to him.